Hey, what's going on, guys? So you guys might remember this one if you follow my channel. This is the blazer that I basically did a whole floor and swap. So pretty cool. I had a lot of people reach out that said, you know, hey, it's good to see somebody bringing one back to life from that, because there's a lot of people that have these old rusted blazers. So it's kind of cool. So I'm going to show you a little secret here. So back when I started this one, well, full confession, let me back up. Back when I started it a while ago, this client of mine lives in Mexico, and sometimes there's a communication breakdown. So he just got a hold of me, put it back in the mix. It sat for like over a year, and so when I did start it way back when, they didn't really offer blazer bedsides. They had them, but they just were impossible to get. So this one, I did a truck bedside, and so you can see this side over here got really good gaps all the way across. Still kind of cutting and cleaning some things up, you know, good rocker all the way through. Got into the rocker boxes. Sorry about the camera angle, just so you can see it all. Yeah, so nice and clean, how it all goes in. But let me show you on the other side. So if anybody attempts to put on or to do a project like this, just because they have aftermarket parts that are stamped doesn't mean they're gonna fit properly. So sometimes you gotta get a little creative. So this side, again, I had to cut this and end it like a blazer bedside, where this was a truck bedside, you know? But anyways, I got the rocker fitting really well, but I wanted to show you guys this. If you look in here, so right here, the floor was too high. So this rocker sits on this is like a little 90 right here, goes all the way across. This is where the weather stripping goes. There's this little gutter, the sill plate, everything goes over it, right? I kept putting this rocker on and it did not fit. I mean, I bent the shit out of it and it didn't fit. Come to find out, you know, it was rubbing here. I noticed it was rubbing from the door. I'm like, you know, it won't go down anymore because it's resting on this, and this doesn't move because this is all part of the floor, you know? So aftermarket combined with aftermarket sometimes presents a problem. So my solution, which I feel is the correct one and the only one in that case, is to cut this and bring this part of the floor down. So let me get up underneath it and I'll show you exactly. All right, so this is where the outer rocker will weld, and then this is where the rocker box will come into the frame rail here. But see how this is that 90? So the rocker sits on this. If this is too high, that rocker will never go any lower. So I just cut it. I'm gonna make a piece right here, brought it down, and that was the fix for me, you know? But yeah, just kind of a cool look. This is that inner panel that I was telling you guys about a while ago. It bolts up. This is what helps stiffen the blazer versus a truck. So a normal truck is like this frame rail, right? And then there's the rocker and there's all this opening. And then the blazer, you have the rocker box. So that side's already done. And then inside you have that end cap that gets bolted on. It bolts to the rocker box, and then it also bolts to this inner piece right here. I forget what this one's called. There's a part number right there. It's upside down, so you're gonna have to like figure that out. But anyways, what I'm getting at here is, if things aren't fitting properly, you obviously start to question yourself. But you have to remember, this is aftermarket parts. They're pretty close, but they're not the end-all be-all. You know, you have to get a little creative sometimes on the direction you're gonna go with it. So my biggest thing is, sorry, let me get out underneath the car, is as long as the door fits. Now this door can come back just a scotch, but I have adjustments. So as long as the door fits into the bedside fits into the rocker, the door fits the rocker both this way, so you don't want it out too far, and fits a good gap here. And as long as you're going all the way across, this ends with the door. Sometimes these might be a little longer. You might have to cut and clean this. And then as long as the door matches up with the A-pillar, there are absolutely no other adjustments that can be made that you're going to get that rocker to fit unless you cut the floor, because you can't adjust this door higher because it's not going to fucking fit. So those are the things that if you're putting a rocker on an old 72 truck or 67 to 72 truck or Blazer, sometimes, you know, don't be afraid to get a little medieval with it and cut it and make some plates, because that's sometimes what it takes. You know, like this one right here is still obviously much too wide. I'm gonna have to cut this and lay that in as well, you know. But yeah, and then of course this is the truck bedside, so I had to make this end cap and I had to leave that little gap all the way through so I can seam seal that so it'll actually look like a Blazer again. But yeah, see how far out that is? And the same thing, you know, like this is only gonna fit into where the weather strip goes. The weather strip goes here, right? And then it matches up into the door or into the B-pillar. So it's not like I can push this in further because this is as far as it goes. So I'm gonna have to cut this and bring it in. So just so you guys know, if you're doing this at home and you're like, hey, what the F, how come this doesn't fit? It may not be you, man. It might be you, it might be me, you know, but sometimes it's the aftermarket parts, man. And you're compounding them too, because you have an aftermarket floor with an aftermarket rocker, with an aftermarket bedside, with an aftermarket lower B-pillar or A-pillar. So there's a bunch of different combinations of things that can that you have to look out for. But anyways, this is kind of a quick update on this one. I'll do a couple more sheet metal panels that I got to weld in, basically right there, the B-pillar. I got to finish boxing in the kick plate, and then this thing's ready to go to the 4x shop. But anyways, yeah, just kind of, a lot of people ask, well, hey, what's going on with that Blazer? Yeah, I got stuck kind of in limbo because the guy lives in Mexico and it's hard to get a hold of him. And he just hit me up and he's like, hey man, I'm ready, you know. So we got everything ready and we're getting back on it. But anyways, thanks for watching, man. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Yeah, I wanted to show you another option, so I wanted to add this part to the video. So this is where I just cut the rocker itself and not the floor. So right here, I just added the outer rocker, and you can see in the back is a good gap, and towards the front, it starts to go uphill and touch the door, you know. So again, everything that I explained on the other side goes to this side, but this rocker didn't fit that bad. So I chose to actually cut the rocker itself and not the floor. So if you look right here, you know, kind of the same thing that I went over on the other side. The rocker sits on the floor, and, you know, that's kind of the only options you have once everything's kind of bolted in place and everything. It's not like you can lower the floor because the floor is sitting on the body mount itself, and you don't want to get into all that inner structure and everything. So right here, I just chose to cut the outer rocker. So I'll show you here in a second. This side, this is much easier, but this side fit a little bit better than the other side. So now I'll open the door. You can see the rocker fits pretty good into the back, and now it fits good into the front here as well. So nice even gap. And what I did is I just made a cut like about an 1/8 inch on the front half of the rocker. And I didn't have to cut it all the way to the back because the back already fit, you know. So right here, I chose to make the cut on a 90, because if you weld on a 90, it doesn't warp as much as if you're welding on just a flat piece. So if you weld it, if you cut it in the middle on a flat piece, you're going to have a lot more welding or warping. But if you cut it on a 90, that's kind of a little trick. It won't warp as bad. But anyways, I want to kind of give you a different option. So that's why I wanted to add the second part of the video to kind of show you. So hopefully this helps you out on your project. Thanks for watching.